Hello, I'm back. How y'all doing? Hi VOD. Hi stream. Welcome to day 2 of the Halloween week spectacular. Well, it's not the official name, but whatever. Anyway, we're back to play more Promises to Keep. I'm actually really enjoying this so far. I don't know. It just feels cozy. And honestly, it feels like a breath of fresh air sometimes. Especially considering I'm playing Arches as well, and that game is stressing me the fuck out. This this is a relief. Holy shit. But anyway, it's actually starting to get colder here, so I'm wearing my amethyst Kiju right now. Surprisingly. Also, I didn't sleep well last night, so I'm very, very, very tired. But anyway, enough fooling around. We're gonna just get straight to it. Okay, so last time we left, we hung out with Rofi. And I believe we're going to. I believe we're going to eat with everyone right now. Okay, huh? Let me get some water down because my throat's not feeling the best right now. Okay. Let's. Okay. Now let me see if I can remember. I watched my VOD for the first part of this game last night, so I know what voices I use for the characters. So hey, that should be good. Okay. I run into Theo on the way down the stairs. Rofi is still nowhere to be seen. Oh, Leo, I'm getting your air mattress set right now. Sorry about the wait. I meant to do this earlier, but I just hadn't had time to think today. If you don't mind, I think I'll get you settled in the den. You can close the doors to get some privacy when you want it. That sounds great, Theo. Thank you. Hey, tell you what. If you want, you can head down to the kitchen. There's snacks in the pantry and beer in the fridge. I still need to figure out what dinner will look like, so please help yourself for now. Rofi should be down there now if you want to join him. Before I can respond, I hear Hunter's voice from down the hallway. Yo, did someone say snacks? We hear a roof of excitement and the sound of a fridge door closing. Sounds like someone got into the stash already. A starry-eyed Rofi appears at the foot of the stairwell, canned drinks in one arm and an assortment of colorful chip bags in the other. Theo! You didn't tell me you had all these cool flavors of soda and chips! I can't pick! His puppy eyes come out again. Theo sighs, but he can't hold back a small smile. Well, feel free to try them. Oh, what? Well, feel free to try them all. I've been having trouble getting through my hoard of junk food lately. Anyway. Rofi's tail starts wagging faster, if that was even possible. Whoa, really? There's no way to finish these by yourself. I did tell Hunter once in on the snacks too. Oh my god, they're so adorable. I'm sure there's more than enough for all of you. Why don't you guys hang out a bit more while I figure out dinner? Thank you, Theo! I love you! Rofi bounced up the stairs in a flash. Sweet! Thanks, Theo! Hunter does a two-fingered salute to Theo before hopping up the stairs after Rofi. Though Theo shades his head, his smile and swishing tail reveal that he's quite pleased with Rofi and Hunter's indulgence. He turns to face me again. Not going to join them, Leo? Nah, I think I'll hang out in the kitchen and wait for dinner. I don't really want to fight those two for snacks anyway. I have a sneaking suspicion I'd lose. If you say so. I'll go fit your air mattress to get set up. I'll be in just a minute. Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Theo. My pleasure. We pass one another, and I head off to the kitchen, breathing a quiet sigh of relief. Normally, I'd be anxious in a situation like this, dependent on his generosity, meeting new people in an unfamiliar place. But Theo, something about him puts me at ease. Maybe it's the sense that he really doesn't expect anything in return. From the way he talks, he makes it sound like I'm doing him a favor by staying here. Oh? The kitchen is spacious, but comfortable, lived in but not cluttered or claustrophobic. My eyes are immediately drawn to the big windows looking out into the small backyard space. This is a nice-ass kitchen. Shit, I want this. The fuck? Well, they would be shown off the backyard if the snow and ice hadn't rendered them almost fully opaque. I settled down at the big kitchen table and watched the weather try to get in, frosty fingers sliding down the fragile panes of glass. It isn't long before Theo comes back with 2 folding chairs and starts to set them up. As I watch him work, I absentmindedly rub the old table surface. My paw pads find curves and divots impressed into the wood. I trace the path of what feels like a cursive letter T, then an H. Peering more closely, I see the telltale marks of many words, crisscrossing and folding over one another across the matte surface. Yeah, those are what you think they are. He cracks open a beer as he talks. This was my aunt's house. I used to come here growing up and do my homework at this very table. I would always press down really hard when doing cursive, and the pencil marked up the surface through the paper. And my mind drifts back to the photo in the stairwell. Theo and an older Arctic fox. He sits down in a seat across from me, and the old wooden chair produces a loud creak. But that was centuries ago, of course. I understand kids these days aren't even learning cursive anymore. That is a tragedy. Kids these days? He's kidding, right? Theo's eyes twinkle mischievously, clearly watching me for a reaction. Hey, I still had to learn it. Turned out to be useless, of course, but I bet I spent just as much time on it as you did. And a fat lot of good it did us. I always thought it was a waste of time, too. Theo snaps his fingers and stands again. Right, dinner. Can't expect everyone to be happy with just soda and chips. Let's see. He starts rummaging through the fridge and cupboards. I hope simple food is okay with you. I'm decent in the kitchen, but... At that moment, Artemis walks carefully through the doorway. 3 paper bags balance precariously in his grip. He has the juggling skills of an experienced waiter. What's all this? Some groceries for my wait, no. He has that jock type sound and look. Some groceries for my place? No point in letting it all rot. Oh, right. Yeah, whatever you can find room in the fridge. Artemis nods at me in greeting, then begins rummaging around in the bags. Green vegetables, fresh herbs, a bag of apples. Good timing, too. I was just starting to prep for dinner. Artemis shakes his head, his sharp eyes flitting around the kitchen. No, I expect you to let me cook tonight, Theo. It's the best I can do to repay you. Theo blinks, somewhat taken aback. For a moment, he seems about to object. Then he breaks into a warm smile and settles back into his chair with another creak. That's an offer I'll gladly accept. To be honest, cooking for 6 was the one thing I was worried about. And I make a mean dinner for one, but anything past that. He chuckles softly, shaking his head. Where do you keep your spices? The bird pulls a couple of containers out from the smallest bag. Garlic powder, paprika, pepper, and a few others that I didn't recognize. I feel a pang of guilt at the sight. If I hadn't been ready to leave town, I'd have some food to contribute too. Just as Theo starts to answer, Hunter strides into the kitchen, an open chip bag in one paw and phone in the other. He walks up to me and holds out both. Yeah, I am tired today. Here, Leo, put your number in. I'm starting a group chat. Also have a chip if you want. Oh, sure, no problem. Oh wait, fuck, I went too far. As I'm typing in my number, he turns to Theo and rattles the bag. These things are amazing, Theo. You gotta tell me where you get them sometime. Theo gives him a thumbs up and takes another swig of his beer. I hand Hunter back his phone. I'm honestly not sure how much a group chat will get used, but whatever. You two as well. I mean, we'll all be stuck in the same house. Do we really need a group chat? Why not? Just in case. Here, Theo. As soon as Theo finishes, Hunter plucks the phone out of his paw and walks it over to Artemis. Come on, please. Artemis takes the phone after a long moment of Hunter waving it in his face. Just please don't message it without a good reason. I hate getting tons of notifications. Yeah, I hear you. Anyway, let me go find Ollie. He marches out of the room at a considerable clip. Does he always move this fast? He did give Rofi a run for his money. Not 30 seconds later, all of our phones buzz. Artemis lets out a theatrical sigh. What did I just say? Theo and I laugh in unison. The bird shakes his head disapprovingly and resumes rifling around in the fridge. Hey Artemis, I can give you a hand if you want. I realize 6 is a lot of people to cook for. He regards me for a split second, then shakes his head. It's really no problem. I like to cook. You can just sit and relax. Okay. Oh my god, do I cook with Artemis or do I relax with Theo? That's a toughie. I mean, I don't want to intrude, but should I? Or relax with Theo? Decisions. Okay, let's see. Let me do, I'll just cook with them. No, really, I insist. I'm no world-class chef, but I've cooked a thing or two in my time. I wince as soon as the words leave my mouth, bracing for a quip from Theo. In your time, how old does that make me then? Feeling a little more comfortable, I fire back. Yes, we know, Theo, you're ancient. Theo shoots me a look of mock indignation. Well, it sounds like you two youngsters have this sorted then. He stifles a yawn with one paw, scratching the back of his neck with the other. He stands to stretch, his sweater rippling nicely over his broad shoulders. I think that's my cue to tend to the greenery. A more fitting job for a geriatric old fox like me. Greenery? Artemis, beat still in the fridge, replies. He's talking about the houseplants. They really liven the place up, especially during winter. My eyes shift to the conspicuous plant on the nearby side table. Oh, right, of course. Artemis sits his head back out of the fridge for a moment. I never had much of a green thumb myself, but I know they look well cared for. I swear, I can see the slightest tint of pink on Theo's cheeks. Clearly not expecting the compliment. Oh, thanks anyway. I'll let you two cook in peace now. As Theo leaves the kitchen, beer in paw, I direct my gaze back to Artemis, who is already peeling carrots at lightning speed. Hold on, wait, I'm supposed to be helping. Well, you and the old man seem occupied. I'm not complaining, it's good of you to respect your elders. Here. The J hands me a large pot. Boil some water, will you? Ah, something I could do well, thank God. Of course, what is it for? Artemis turns to reply. Already finished with the carrots. A potato puree. If you want, you can start peeling them too. Puree? You mean like mashed potatoes? He grins at me as he starts peeling the potatoes. My first Artemis smile, directed only at me. Sardonic, sure. Teasing, yes. Handsome? Absolutely. Sure, but let's call it something fancy. It'll taste better that way. If his speed in the kitchen is any indication, it seemed like Artemis' cooking experience far surpasses my own. I nod and begin filling the pot with water from the sink. As I start to move it over to the stove, I feel the bird's sharp gaze over my shoulder. Is this enough? Nah, a little more. The water has to cover all the potatoes while they're boiling. I top off the pot a little more, then move it to the stove. After some fiddling with the knobs, the stove light turns on, and I move back to the counter to start peeling the potatoes. I do my best, but it's admittedly been a while, and the potato peeler keeps slipping. Decent, but try to do it like this. He holds out his talons for the peeler, and I hand it to him. I watch him in awe as he picks up one of the largest, lumpiest potatoes and obliterates it in just a few smooth strokes. See? Faster, right? He picks up another large one and strips it in no time at all. Maybe there's something else I can help you with? Maybe. Here. To my surprise, the bird grabs a bowl of sauce, gives it a good few mixes with a wooden spoon, then holds it out in front of me. Give this a taste. Let me know if it sucks. What is it? It's a spicy honey glaze. It'll go with the carrots after they roast in the oven. I lean in to lift the spoon, feeling a little silly. It's delicious. It's hard to explain, but it definitely tastes more complex than just some spicy honey. There are so many herbs that I can't pick out in the mixture, but they come together in a perfect blend of savory, sweet, spicy goodness. Artemis, this is amazing! He shrugs and grabs another spoon to taste it himself. His face scrunches in thought for a long moment. Nah, it sucks. He grabs 2 containers from the spice rack and shakes a little bit of each into the bowl. It needs more salt and chili powder. He goes in for another taste, and nods to himself this time. A lot better, see? He holds another spoon out for me. Does this even count as helping? I taste this version of the sauce, and it's somehow even better. The spice is more distinct, but doesn't overpower the sweet tones from the honey. Well, yes, but I like the first one too. In a flash, Artemis sets down the bowl, grabs the potatoes he prepared, and moves to the stove. The changes are subtle, but they'll make a difference in the final dish. Also, when he turns back to me, the sarcastic smile is back. Uh-oh. Chef, any idea why the water isn't boiling? I step over to the stove. I swear I turned it on. I could definitely feel heat from the stove, but the water was far from boiling. In fact, it was just sitting there. Then I looked over to the switches and realized, oh, I'm an idiot. I turned on the wrong burner. Sorry, Artemis. I quickly turned a few more knobs to remedy my mistake. How on earth did I manage to screw up boiling water? Here, let me. He flips the knobs back to their original orientation, then just moves the pot to the already hot burner, dropping the potatoes in gently, then covering the pot. It's fine, boiling water can be pretty complicated for the uninitiated. And really, don't worry, I'm just giving you a hard time. He chuckles to himself as he takes a large container out of the fridge. I've been known to do that myself every once in a while. Artemis being anything less than flawless in the kitchen was hard to imagine, truthfully. But that made me feel a little less stupid. Anyway, I'm going to start preparing the sea bass. If you want to grab the salad mix out of the fridge and the dough for the breadsticks, we can get started on those too. Are we fucking Olive Garden or something? Which sea bass? Breadsticks? I didn't realize he was making a 3-course meal. Literally, what the fuck? Sure thing. I open the fridge and find the salad mix and dough without too much difficulty. I place the bag of salad on the counter and start reading the instructions on the dough can. Shame about the canned dough. I usually make them fresh. Hold on, wait. You're throwing this entire meal together for us with multiple courses in a snowstorm, and you're worried about some dough? No excuse for bad food. They taste better when I make them fresh. Well, yes, I'm sure, but you're already doing so much. I gestured to the organized chaos on the kitchen counters. We're lucky to have you cooking for us, Artemis. And I promise you, no one is going to complain that the dough wasn't homemade. His gaze flits over to the oven again, and lingers for a long moment. Finally, he nods as if making some internal decision. Fair enough. I can't be blamed for others' bad taste. I'll bake you some good ones sometime, from scratch. I would love that. As I preheat the oven and start preparing the breadsticks, my thoughts catch up with me. Oh god, we're getting the black and white anxiety attack. Courtesy of chord progressions. Sorry, I just need to get a little bit of water. Artemis' voice is pretty easy to do, but still, my voice is not the best right now. Okay. Let's continue. All of this was happening so fast. Less than 24 hours ago, I was on my way out of this place. I was excited to file? I guess that's technically correct. Yeah. I was excited to file onto a plane and leave this frozen city behind. Less than 24 hours ago, I was gearing up for another quiet night alone in my dusty apartment. Just me, my phone, and my endless roiling thoughts. Is it really an apartment? Is it really an apartment? Like, was it really an apartment? Like, I'm not too sure. It seemed like a normal house to me. And now, I have future plans to bid with Artemis, and Rofi and I still have so much more to catch up on. I'm sure that dog will force me to accompany him for a walk when the weather clears up. Not that I mind, of course. It seemed almost surreal. I'm brought back to reality by the oven beeping. Ready for the bread. Bread is ready! You are cooking right now, Theo. Now is not the time to space out. I'm gonna toss these in the oven. Do you need anything else? Put a little bit of garlic butter on top of those breadsticks and then sprinkle some Parmesan on them. Like some powdered Parmesan. It's gonna taste really fucking good if you do so. I looked over to Artemis and... Wait, how long was I daydreaming for? He already has 10 sea bass fillets stored, seasoned, and laying on a baking pan next to the oven, and is carefully placing carrots in the heated frying pan to saute them. This is so much food. Where was he keeping it all? Why did he have all of this ready? The sea bass is ready to bake, and the carrots will be ready for glazing soon. Leo, get your head in the game. I quickly place the breadsticks in the oven, and Artemis follows with his sea bass. And some other container? What's the mystery pan? Oh, nothing. It's just a sweet treat for us after dinner. He really was making a 3-course meal. I can make the salad pretty quickly if you want to take a break. Take a break? I feel like I've barely done anything. Artemis blinks at me, taking a moment to look me in the eye. You did the breadsticks, and the water mostly, and you kept me company. And you did 200 other things. That gets another smile out of him. Okay, fine, you can mash the potatoes then. Finally something I could mess up? At least, probably not. Artemis strains the potatoes from the pot and tosses them back in, lowering the heat. He drizzles in a little cream, tosses in a knob of butter, and sprinkles a variety of spices into the pot. Then he hands me the potato masher. Have at it, chef. Really fuck 'em up. I have at it, getting the potatoes smooth and creamy as they blend with the other ingredients in the pot. Artemis makes the salad in record speed, while tasting and spoon-feeding me little bits of the mash every few minutes, adjusting the seasoning as necessary. The oven alarm goes off again, indicating that the breadsticks were done. The first course is ready. The bass and dessert will take a bit longer. I can finish up. I still have to glaze the carrots and clean up. At that moment, Theo walks back into the kitchen, black nose twitching as he takes in the delicious smell of dinner. Ooh, it smells good in here. Did y'all make a 3-course meal or something? Artemis did. With your help, of course. I was also in the room, yes. My God. Well, I'm excited to eat you two. And if I heard you correctly, Artemis, I won't allow it. You cooked, so I'll do the cleaning. That's only fair. Artemis doesn't put up too much of a fight. Hey, no complaints here. Anyway, the food's pretty much ready. Thea, would you help me set the table? He considers for a moment. I suppose we don't all have to eat at the same place at the same time, but it would be nice. Well, this is my house, and I say we do have to. Theo says playfully, a twinkle in his eye. At least for the first night, help us all settle in with each other. Artemis nods in response. Agreed. Leo, would you mind fetching the others for dinner? Sure. If you had trouble with Ollie, just come get me. I'll extract him from his room. He's probably built quite the nest already. Gotcha. I head up the stairs and towards Ollie's room. I found the door open, and I peeked in to see Ollie still fussing with cables. Still? It's been hours. Just how much stuff did he bring? I knocked softly on the door frame, and the studious Xeno jumps in surprise. Oh! Oh, Leo, it's you! Sorry, I was just rearranging some things here. Can I help you? You're fine. I didn't mean to stall you. Artemis is done making dinner and sent me to collect everybody. Oh, Artemis made dinner already? Ollie lets out a bark of laughter, high and clear. Just a few hours in the door and already taking over the kitchen. Isn't it a bit early to... He checks his phone and his eyebrows shoot up. Oh wow, I didn't realize I was so late already. Guess I've been fiddling around up here for a while. He looks around at the mess of electronics and wires and seems to remember his shyness. Sorry about the mess. And I know I made a scene earlier and made you and the others carry all my stuff, and... Demeanor totally changed. The apologies start pouring out of him. I hold up my paws to cut him off. Hey, whoa, it's okay. I didn't mind at all. I should be apologizing. I almost dropped that one box. No, it's my fault, really. I should have just carried it myself. We both laugh a bit awkwardly at our mutual apology standoff. Well, regardless of whose fault it is, I liked what I've seen of your setup so far. Any chance you let me take a closer look once it's all properly assembled? Yeah, I'm seeing the RGB lights on the keyboard and the PC itself. Ollie brightens immediately. Absolutely! I should be done by tonight. That is, if we don't have plans already. My stomach chooses that moment to growl loudly. Apparently, I'm focused on dinner first. Ollie's stomach responds, and his cheeks go red. Me too. I forgot I hadn't eaten anything today. I blink in alarm. Nothing at all? Since this morning? You're going downstairs to eat some dinner right now. Yeah, Ollie is me for real. Ollie is fucking me. I remember, with a pang of irony, that I also hadn't eaten anything today. Well, Ollie doesn't need to know that. Okay, so Leo is also me, for real. I have to collect Rofi and Hunter, but I'll see you in the kitchen. Okay. The only thing is, I have to finish up a few things here first, or I'll never know where I left off. I'll be down soon, I promise. Okay, you better. See you. I leave Ollie to his work and walk down the hall to Rofi's room. I hear the sound of video games and voices before I even reach the open door. Guess they're both here. Oh my god. The two of them were sprawled in front of the TV. Rofi hunched over his controller, Hunter spread out flat on his belly, footpaws kicked in the air. Looks like they're playing a racing game. A devious smile spread across my face. I call loudly from the doorway. Don't mess up! Rofi yelps and jumps, clearing an impressive height, and his cart flies right off the map, into the abyss. Leo, that's not fair! No, that doesn't count! Hunter bursts into raucous laughter as he crosses the finish line and triumphant music plays. I dodge a hastily thrown pillow, holding back the giggles myself. It's dinner time, you guys. Artemis made food for all of us. Oh, sick! The raccoon pulls himself up off the floor and discards his controller. What did he make? A whole 3-course meal. You'll see when you get down there. Well, what are we standing around for? Let's go! We make another stop at Ollie's room to remind him about dinner. And then all four of us start heading to the kitchen. Following our noses and growling stomachs, enjoying the smell wafting through the house. The cavalry has arrived. Artemis lifts up from the stove, stands down the line until he sees Ollie, then nods at me, a silent thank you. There you all are. Perfect timing, the main course is ready. Here, line up with the plates and I'll serve you. Plate by plate, Artemis creates gorgeous looking dishes for everyone, and before long, all 6 of us are sitting around the kitchen table, digging in. Artemis, this is delicious! It's decent, but I'll do better tomorrow night. Artemis looks pointedly at Theo. You'll let me cook tomorrow too, right? Theo laughs, covering his mouth with a paw, and waits to finish chewing. Artemis, you are free to come make dinner for me whenever you like. Easy there, Grandpa. That wasn't an open invitation. I take a moment to look around the table at my new housemates. I can basically see the stars in Rofi's eyes as he shovels down his food. As I expected, he still eats like a maniac. Hunter, however, is giving him a serious run for his money. The two of them create an honestly hilarious tableau, both so intense and focused on their dinner. I let out a giggle as the raccoon stuffs a particularly large piece of fish into his mouth. Hey, what are you laughing at, Leo? Nothing, it's just fun to watch you two eat. Agreed. You haven't got anywhere to be, you know. Take your time, savor it. Rofi and Hunter shake their heads in unison and return to their serious work. Looking over at Ollie, I can see that he's also enamored, but in a different way. The dino's eyes are soft and thoughtful, his lips curled into a slight smile as he takes small, deliberate bites. I know his expression well. If he were a cat, he'd be purring loudly right now. I get it. At the moment, I'm struggling to hold back my own purrs. Theo seems ecstatic, but in his usual quiet way. I get the feeling he's enjoying the company more than the food. Despite his cool veneer, Artemis' eyes are flicking around the table, clearly gauging everyone's reactions. I purposefully reach out and take another breadstick, looking right at him the whole time. He rolls his eyes at me, but I did a smile anyway. I take a comically large bite. The dough is soft on top and lightly crispy on the bottom, a perfect accompaniment to the rest of the meal. Dinner progresses with little talking, all of us firmly occupied with our plates. As Artemis starts to wind down, as things start to wind down. What the fuck did I just say Artemis for? As things start to wind down, Artemis sets down his fork and stands. Y'all better have room for dessert. I didn't slave away over a hot stove for my war to go unappreciated. Desserts? I have never seen someone so excited in my life. I wonder what it is. Artemis gets up and makes his way to the oven. He swings the door open carefully, and we're all greeted by the warm scent of cinnamon and vanilla. I can practically feel the table vibrate with anticipation as Artemis extracts the dish and brings it to us. He sets it down, but before anyone moves, he speaks up. Hold up now. Don't get any ideas. I have to grab the glaze first. None of us had noticed a small pot still simmering on the stove. He uncovers it, brings it over, and starts drizzling the sticky glaze over the dessert. Then he sets the pot down and starts dividing the dessert into slices. A thump-thump sound breaks the silence, and we look over to Rofi, whose tail is beating against his seat in anticipation. The table breaks out in laughter, minus Rofi, still laser-focused on Artemis' movements. The bird smiles and generously gives him the first plate. So we have a pretty simple bread pudding for dessert, topped with a sweet bourbon drizzle. I don't do desserts super often, but I hope this is decent. Artemis' introduction is interrupted by a gasp from Rofi. This is so yummy! Seems like you have your verdict, Artemis. Let's eat before it gets cold. Some light chatter happens during dessert, but everyone is mostly focused on the sugary goodness that Artemis put together. It really is the perfect ending to a satisfying meal. After a few more minutes of conversation, folks start to peel off. Theo gets up first to collect everyone's plates, firmly shooing Artemis away when he inevitably tries to help. The Blue Jay is next to bail, Ollie trailing close behind him, both of them engrossed in their phones. Hunter lets out a yawn and does a huge full body stretch, filling what seems like most of the kitchen with his arms. Think I might go lie down. Hunter nudges Rofi gently, but it looks like he's already fallen asleep in his chair, a soft, content smile on his puppy face. I'm heading upstairs, you coming? Rofi nods drowsily and gets up, playfully leaning on Hunter as they leave the table. Hunter calls back to the kitchen. Have a good night, y'all. Both Theo and I call back to him, setting him and Rofi off. Then Theo turns to me. You done with your plate, Leo? Oh yeah, I think so. Do you want help with the dishes? Nope, not at all. I like doing them. Gives me time to think. You're free to entertain yourself however you wish. I'm giving you the rest of the night off. Theo chuckles as, oh, joke? As he starts loading plates into the dishwasher. I stand up slowly, feeling warm and pleasantly full. Outside, the wind howls and beats at the windows. The snow still hasn't stopped. I wasn't quite ready for bed, but it seemed like Rofi and Hunter were both calling it a night. That left Artemis and Ollie? I wonder what each of them is up to. Who should I spend time with? Okay, so I already spent time with Artemis. I was spent time with Rofi, Artemis. Now it's Ollie's turn. But I kind of want to save. I want to spend time with Ollie because he's really cute. I don't know. It's something about him. He's just adorable. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and get a water break. Okay. Okay. I decide I'm due to spend some time with Ollie, and as I enter the living room, I run into him. He's standing in the middle of the room, lost in his phone. Not quite blocking the path, but not out of the way either. Must be really absorbed in something. Hey. I try my best not to startle him, but fail anyway. Oh! I'm sorry, I'm totally in your way. Here, let me move. No, you're good. I wanted to talk to you, actually. What are you up to? Nothing really. Just strolling. I know what you mean. Yeah. Hey, do you have any plans for tonight? Ollie fiddles with his phone, spinning it between his claws so fast, I'm afraid he'll drop it. Well, no, that was sort of oh, wait. Well, no, that was sort of what I was thinking about. Oh, did you want to show me your desktop setup, like we were talking about earlier? The dino flushes a little, his eyes wander in the room. The twirling phone starts to spin faster. Well, yes I do, but there were a lot of things to do and I got a little sidetracked. Oh, okay, that's fine. We'll do that tomorrow or whenever, no pressure. Ollie makes eye contact then, He stops spinning his phone and, like clockwork, begins to shovel his feet. I still have my laptop though. We could watch something. One of my favorite YouTube channels always updates today, and I was going to watch the new episode, so if you are interested in that, then... The words spill out of his mouth in a jumble, almost as if he's afraid he won't get them out in time. Sure, that sounds fun. My phone buzzes in my pocket, and a thought occurs to me. As long as you don't mind if I answer some messages during... Now that the news is spread about the storm, I should probably let people know that I'm okay. Unless all those notifications were just from Rofi and Hunter blowing up the group chat. No, that's totally fine. I always do other stuff while I'm watching too, so it's just kind of in the background a bit. But I promise it's funny. I really like the hosts. Lead the way then. Oh, right. Sorry. He leads me up the stairs and down the left path to his room, hesitating for a moment at the door. Sorry again about the mess. I fucking love him. Ollie opens the door and heads in first, taking aside discarded clothes on his way to the bed. I follow, getting a closer look at the room now that he's had more time to set it up. The guest bed is in significant disarray, with most of its expanse taken up by the largest laptop I have ever seen. Oh wait, I just noticed he has a 3-monitor setup. Soon to be me. I can see the famous desktop sitting under a nearby table, with 3 expansive, and no doubt expensive, monitors crowding the surface. A thicket of different colored cables covered the remaining space, their disconnected ends gathered in the pile on the floor. That tracks. Ollie would have bad cable management. I'll finish setting it up tomorrow and you can see it then, but is it cool if we use my laptop for tonight? Yeah, of course, I don't mind. Oh, okay, thanks. Ollie scoots the computer over long enough to sit down and opens it up. You should be able to see from here. He passed the empty space next to him with a claw, excitement plain on his demeanor. I plop myself down onto the comfortable bed and slide up to the headboard so I can see the screen. My eyes widen involuntarily at the sight. My computer desktop can get a little cluttered, but Ollie's looks like a 52 pickup game at the scene of a car crash. He doesn't even seem to notice it. However, his practiced claws pick needles out of the haystack, and in seconds the video is open and the theme is playing. Hey, do you mind if I open some other windows too? Normally I'd have 3 monitors to work with, but... He gestures to the tech pile on the nearby desk. Fine with me. I watch with growing awe as he arranges the 2 other browser windows with their own muted videos playing. What looks like a turn-based RPG, which he leaves running in the background, and finally fishes his phone out of his pocket to boot up some sort of card game. Suddenly I feel very old and very slow. Is the volume high enough for you? What? I realize I haven't been paying attention to the video at all. From its spot in the top right corner of the screen, it looks like someone has drawn something? Some kind of art show? Yes, it's fine. So, what's the prompt? Didn't you hear the intro? My eyes drift back over to the RPG as it plays itself. Bright characters with shining weapons dashing across the screen to slay enemies. No, actually, sorry. Ollie laughs, a high-pitched, sparkling sound, worlds different from his usual muted voice. He turns to me with a huge, toothy smile. That's okay, I'll start it over. I'm not sure how much that will help. There's so much going on that it's really hard for me to focus on anything. But I nod anyway. It felt nice to make Ollie laugh, I realize. Nice to see him start to open up like this. Even if I have to work to keep up with him. I guess I could ask him to explain some of the stuff. He might enjoy talking about it. Do you mind telling me more about this YouTube channel? Sure! They're professional artists, and they take prompts from viewers to draw certain things, and the kind of prompts they take vary wildly too. Like this week they're drawing characters based on different kinds of flowers. But last week they did a more serious art challenge where they picked one color and tried to make paintings using only shades of that color. I learned a ton about color theory and different kinds of values, and the final pieces were all really cool. Sounds hard. I've done a bit of drawing over the years, but I never got very good at it. Are you an artist? Oh no, God no, definitely not. I can't draw to save my life. I mean, I think it might be cool, but... He drops his gaze back down to his phone game. Nah, I just don't think I'll be any good at it. And it's probably too late to start now. Too late? Anyway, I mostly like their banter. I love listening to good friends shoot the shit, you know? Totally. My favorite podcasts are just buddies sitting at a table and talking. He nods enthusiastically, now engrossed in his phone game. What you playing? Oh, it's a deck builder roguelike. I like it because it kind of strips the genre down to its basics, so the games are comparatively quick. And I love the art style too. They hire a ton of really different and talented artists to design them, so every card choice you make feels really impactful and important. Cool, how do you play? Well, first you pick your starting cards. You only get 12 and you can't double up, so you really gotta think about your strategy ahead of time. Once you do that, then you venture to the first level of the dungeon, which is always the same layout. It starts to get randomized after the second. I am very quickly realizing how open and verbose Ollie can be when he talks about something he loves. Part of me wants to interrupt him with questions, but I don't want him to clam up again. It really is sweet how passionate he is. So if I use a randomly drawn hand of 6 cards, obviously each card does different things, but only has a certain number of uses. And when those are up, then you lose it for the rest of the run. But whenever you finish a fight, you get a choice of 3 random booster packs, each of which have 3 cards to put into your side deck. Now the side deck is obviously very important because it's the only way you can keep your most powerful cards in your hand for when you need them. Similar to the main deck, for each fight, you are dealt... He stops mid-sentence, seemingly realizing how much and how quickly he's been talking. Sorry, you didn't need to hear all that. If you're interested, you can just play the tutorial. It'll do a much better job of explaining than I did. You're fine, Ollie. I think I actually caught most of that. Well, maybe half of it. Here, give me the title and I'll download it later, okay? Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. By the way, just wanted to make sure. You're okay with me calling you Ollie, right? Ollie's face creases with worry again. I mean, yeah? You know, like I said, it's different if it's you. Ollie, are we starting to catch feelings? We literally just met. I mean, I literally just know you. I mean, you're literally just a character on my screen that I know literally less than a whole actual day, and already I want to smooch you. So, me for real. He turns red. Because you're my age, and I mean, you're obviously not gonna judge me. I don't know, I get that feeling about you. But Theo? I don't know, he just seems so much older and more mature. It just makes me anxious. Like I said earlier, it's a childish nickname, so... Looking at his dejected face, I decided to push back gently. And like I said earlier, I think it's cute. And not childish at all. His blush turns up to 11. You're just saying that, and anyway, that's kind of the issue. Look, it's really not a big deal. Like I said, I don't mind if you call me that. Wait. Which, look, it's really not a big deal. Like I said, I don't mind if you call me that, just... Let's just talk about something else, please. Sure, totally. I'll have to ask him about that again later. For now, it's time to change the subject. So, what's this game? I point at the RPG. Oh yeah, sorry about that. It has a daily reward mechanic, so I've just got it running on auto battle so I can get my dailies. My problem is that I like all the characters, so I want to keep them all high level, but I keep running out of XP items. Oh, it's one of those games. What are they called again? Gotcha. He flushes slightly and fiddles with the trackpad. I know they're like a scam, basically. Built to trick kids into microtransactions, etc., etc., but this one is really well designed and has, like, War and Peace levels of lore. And you don't need to pay real money to get everything, it just takes longer, and I actually like that, because I can keep going in the background if I'm bored. Hey, no shade. I played Neo Critters for the longest time, so I've got no room to judge. Ollie's disdain is so immediate and so earnest that I can't help but laugh. His blush deepens. Sorry, I tried to control myself, but like, Neo Critters? That just means we both have bad taste. I can live with that. He smiles, once again showing off his assortment of incisors. Me too. My phone buzzes and I suddenly remember my unread messages. I should probably answer those now. I don't want people to start getting worried about me. I begin sifting through the questions and well wishes. Family... Family, college friends, one or two old co-workers. A surprising number of people had reached out. The news of the snowstorm must have made it to some major news stations. I had really expected it to just be Rofi and Hunter. I mean, of course it was them to some extent. Our group chat was just starting to look like a GIF warehouse, but... A warm feeling begins to spread through my core. Sometimes you forget how many people out there care about you. Who are you talking to, if you don't mind me asking? Just letting folks know that I'm alright and that I found somewhere to stay. I was just thinking how nice it is that they messaged me. It reminds me that I do have friends even if they don't live here. Yes, it is nice, isn't it? He looks down and twirls his thumbs for a moment. I had never in my life seen someone actually twirl their thumbs. It suits him. I met almost all of my friends online, and they live all over the place, so... Except for Artemis, of course. I probably wouldn't be in this nice warm room and not for him. What do you mean? Well, this is embarrassing, but when Theo first came to my door, I didn't answer. I don't like opening the door to strangers. Whenever the doorbell rings unexpectedly, I just kinda freeze up. But Artemis knew I was still in there, so he came back with Theo and knocked until I opened up. He was pretty mad, especially once he realized how cold it had gotten in my apartment. I don't do very well with cold weather. I mean, I manage. I couldn't live here otherwise, but without power, I think I would have been in real trouble if he hadn't been there. That reminds me, how did you two meet? I can't help but be curious. They seem like such unlikely friends. Well, we met in college, actually. We both went to school in the area. I think it was junior or senior year. My roommate was out, so I had the dorm room to myself for the night. Around 3 in the morning, I heard someone banging on the door and shouting, so I went to go check it out. But I didn't see anyone in the peephole. Turns out Artemis was sitting up against the door, so when I opened it, he just kind of fell into the room. Ollie shakes his head, smiling softly. His voice takes on a new tone, smoother, less nervous. He sounds like a completely different person. He was so fucking smashed. He didn't even realize he was on the wrong floor. I explained it to him and everything, but he wasn't really in any state to leave. So I sat him up in a chair and brought him some water, and we talked for hours. Well, I guess it was mostly him talking, but that was fine by me. I wanted to hear about him. He was surprisingly coherent. He told me about his music and tried to play me some, but he couldn't get his phone to work. He kept dropping it in his lap. We talked until the sun came up, and by then he was feeling okay enough to walk, so he went to go get coffee. It was honestly a really magical night. Maybe more for me than for him. When I talked to him about it later, he said he spent the rest of that day in bed with a nuclear hangover. He even draped a black blanket over the window to keep the light out. Ollie falls silent then, lost in more memories. I keep quiet too, not wanting to interrupt him. After a few moments, I speak up. That's a really nice story. It's kind of hard to believe, though. Based on how he looks, I mean, somehow I can't imagine him being that much of a party dude. Despite my best efforts, my voice breaks the spell. I probably shouldn't have told you all that. He doesn't really like it when I bring up that story. I think he's still embarrassed about it. Sorry, but can you just, forget I told you? If that's okay, I mean. Ollie falls back into his usual self as he speaks, his voice deflating along with him. I just find it so easy to talk to that it just kinda slipped out. Me? Easy to talk to? I mean, I guess I didn't interrupt him, but that's just common courtesy. But, hey, it's okay. I understand. We'd never had this conversation. Thanks. Tiredness suddenly washes over me. It's been a pretty eventful day, after all, especially after all the cleaning and packing I did yesterday in preparation for the flight. I yawned real big, remembering at the last second to cover up my open mouth with a paw. Tired? Maybe a little. You can go to bed if you want. It's been a long day. I'd feel bad ditching you, though. It's true, I would. I've really been enjoying just sitting with him. It's fine. I'm probably not long for this world either. Cold weather makes me sleepy. Okay, I think I will probably head to bed then. I say gratefully, maneuvering myself off the bed and stand up straight. Good night! Ollie chirps, waving a claw at me, the many windows of his laptop casting dancing lights across his face. Good night, Ollie. With some regrets, I turn away and head out of the room. I remembered Theo saying I'd be sleeping in the den. As Theo promised, the air mattress is all set up when I get there. Looks like he's also placed a measured ton of extra blankets nearby and moved my travel bag for me. So far, Theo's been an excellent host. Gotta remember to thank him some tomorrow. I shut the doors, closed myself off from the rest of the house, and breathed a small sigh of relief. Everyone has been friendly and welcoming, but being so social has been exhausting, and I've had very little time to myself. I yawned once more and fished some pajamas out of my bag. At least I can sleep in tomorrow. Huh. The air mattress is an air mattress, but it's not uncomfortable. Certainly better than my freezing bed back home. Regardless, my body doesn't seem to care. Sleep overwhelms me in an instant. I barely have time to realize I forgot to brush my teeth. Damn. Wait, what? Though these words are new and strange, the snowy path I know, for I have walked it miles and miles with many more to go. With many more to go. I love the music. Oh my god, it's so peaceful. Got some water in me. Ooh, that's so pretty. Let's see. Here the road forks. The left path is well trod, starred by scores of travelers past. Their paw prints seem familiar. At the end lies a ramshackle house, spent, its windows shattered and gaping. Its walls give no comfort, its hearth no heat. The right path is pure, unspoiled and unstained. It leads further into darkness. To where, I cannot know. I shiver, though I feel no chill. What path shall I take? And what difference will it make? Callous and unheeding, my paws lead me to the right. They carry me, as always, ever onward through the night. I turn my head to glimpse once the path I could not take. I turn my head to glimpse once more the path I could not take. But my eyes are veiled by shadow and the swirl of downy flake. There was never a choice. There's no going back. I know this. I stop on the shore of a frozen lake. The path leads onwards into its depths. I feel my knees bend and strike the hard earth, lightly cushioned by snow. In an icy crystal surface, I see myself, but myself does not see me. I reach out, as if to cut my own face, shattering the mirror with 1,000 ethereal ripples. And suddenly I am falling. The water accepts me unconditionally, cold as the memory of winter. As I float near the surface, a shadow passes over me. I see my own face on the other side of the barrier. I look away, afraid to meet my own eyes. I feel a paw reach out and I instinctually shrink away. Sink away. Down, down. Suddenly I find myself swallowed in warmth. I blink my eyes open, startled by my unfamiliar surroundings. Ever so slowly, reality starts to coalesce around me. Just another dream. That's all it was. They've been getting worse. I began to recollect the previous day. Theo, Rofi, Artemis, Ollie, and Hunter. I roll onto my back and place my paws behind my head, stretching slightly. For a few long moments I sit in silence, listening to my heart beat steadily in my chest. I'm alive and safe, I think. What time is it? I paw around the den floor looking for my phone. 8. That's what time I woke up. Shit. On a normal day off, I sleep in a bit longer, but the smell of breakfast wafting in from the kitchen makes my stomach growl. Probably Artemis, our resident chef. Then again, I don't think anyone else is going to be up this early. The image of a comfortable, curled up Rofi crosses my mind. Maybe I'll see him if I get up later? Huh. Do I want to go back to sleep? I kinda do. What should I do? Get up or go back to sleep? Might as well get up. This is hardly a normal day off. I'm awake, so I might as well go have some breakfast. Besides, I'm not eager to return to my dreams. I did a few good stretches in before reluctantly leaving my surprisingly comfortable air mattress. First things first, a shower. I unzip my luggage, grabbing a change of clothes and a few toiletries. I pause at the door and take a few slow breaths, bracing myself for the day ahead. Here we go. Social Leo, activate. I headed into the living room first and see Theo settled comfortably in front of the fire, drinking coffee. Oh, Leo, good morning. How'd you sleep? Morning, Theo. I slept pretty well, actually. Thank you again for setting up the mattress for me. Glad to hear it. You're up earlier than I expected. Right on cue, I stifle a yawn with my paw. You can go back to bed if you want. I think most of the house is still asleep. No, I'm fine. Just need to shake off the morning sleepiness. Speaking of, who is awake right now? Well, I know Artemis threw together a breakfast spread in the kitchen. I think Hunter is with him, but everyone else is still in dreamland. If you're in the mood, you should join them for a bite. I'm not normally a breakfast guy. Same. But Artemis made fresh stones that I couldn't refuse. That does sound nice, but I do want to freshen up first, if that's alright. Oh, of course. The bathroom is just around the corner. I put some fresh towels in there earlier this morning, so take your pick. He really was prepared for everything. Gotcha. Thanks again, Theo. We waved goodbye and I make my way to the bathroom. After a refreshing shower, I return to the den, setting my dirty clothes aside and grabbing my phone. Making my way to the kitchen, I start to hear talking and laughing. Definitely Hunter's voice. Okay, but why take all the joy out of the food? It's not that bad. I still eat what I want for like half the year. Seems like I'm watching on some kind of discussion. Hey, good morning, you two. They both turn to face me. Morning, Theo. Morning, Leo. Morning. Help yourself to some breakfast. We have fresh scones, pancakes, and a bunch of fruit. This is awesome. I'll go ahead and make a plate, and sorry if I interrupted your conversation. No worries. I'm just trying to explain macros to Ollie here. He must have picked that nickname up from Rofi, but Artemis doesn't seem annoyed by it. Macros? Macronutrients. You know, like the stuff you put in your body? He basically starves himself for half the year to look good. I do not! The point is, you keep track of what you eat, so you stay well nourished while minimizing sugar and fat intake. It is not just for my own benefit. I gotta keep it up to stay on the gymnastics team. Sounds awful to me. One of the greatest joys of cooking is trial and error. Imagine weighing every spoon of sugar and salt you put in a dish. So Hunter, do you cook? Well, when I'm not feeling the dining hall food. He looks at Artemis a bit sheepishly. You're not wrong, though. I usually keep my meals simple so they're easy to log. Let me guess. Chicken and rice 8 days a week? As I listen in to their banter, I start to put together a plate of food for myself. A hearty set of pancakes with fruit topped up with a homemade scone. I could get used to this. Well, it's easy to prepare, and chicken breast has a really good protein-to-fat ratio. Yeah, and it's also the hardest part of the chicken to make tasty. No fat means little to no flavor. Well, Chef, do you have any suggestions to jazz up chicken breast? Well, if you're looking to give it some extra flavor and moisture, how about a glaze? I grab a seat and dig in. The pancakes are fluffy and perfectly sweet. I found a great red pepper paste at the store the other day that's sweet and spicy. I don't think it has a ton of sugar, and I've made some great glazes with it. Hunter pulls out his phone and starts typing. He shows us his search results. This one? We both lean forward. The image of the container has some language I can't read, but Artemis nods. Yeah, but that looks pretty expensive online. I can show you what I did next time I go Artemis is cut off by a ding. The sound of Hunter's phone authorizing a purchase. Oh, oops. I figured I'd just ordered it now. Alright. Not to tell you what to do, but websites usually jack up the price if you only order 1 or 2 things. In the future, you should probably... Another ding from Hunter's phone. Oh, it's not that bad. I ordered the first package of chicken too. Another single item order? Hunter shrugs it off. I just wanted to put the orders in before I forget. I don't expect them to arrive anytime soon. Okay, but are they gonna are they going to arrive at your place or this place? Did you set up that? He gestures to the windows. I can see the gears turn in Artemis' head as he tries to understand Hunter's nonchalance. His expression remains relatively neutral, though. Eventually, he shakes his head and turns to me. Either way, I'm glad to see some of you enjoying my food. He gives me a snarky nod as I nibble at my stone. Light, buttery, and soft. I give him a thumbs up and continue eating. Hey, I had fruits. You had like 5 strawberries and a protein shake. I had to make up for yesterday. I had too much bread pudding. At that moment, Theo strides into the kitchen, all geared up to head outside. Oh great, all the early birds are here. He makes eye contact with Artemis, then twitches slightly. No offense. None taken. I'm headed out to shovel the snow at the front. Then I think I'll check on a few more folks down the street. Hunter's eyes light up immediately. When I'm shoveling, I need something to work off breakfast. Artemis is very pointedly silent. His face says it all. You're in luck. I have a second shovel you can use. Sweet! Let me get changed real quick. Hunter pops up from his seat, carefully placing his plate in the sink. Thanks again for breakfast, Artie. Yeah, thanks, Artemis. The J nods, directing his attention to his phone as Hunter jogs out of the kitchen. As always, please make yourself at home while we're out. We shouldn't be gone for too long. Theo turns to leave the kitchen. Soon after, I hear Hunter come down the stairs to join him. The door opens, shuts, and then the house is quiet again. I finish the last few bites of my food as Artemis gets up from his seat. If he wants to work off breakfast, he actually has to eat it first. He has no calories to work off right now. There it is. Anyway, you can hand me your plate if you're finished. I'll clean up in a bit. Do you need any help? Nah. I promised Rofi a cooking lesson today, so I'll do all the clean after that. That sounds fun. What are you teaching him? Not sure. Whatever I can work from the stuff in the fridge. Instead of paw steps echo in the stairwell. Speak of the devil. Artie! Good morning! Rofi calls out as he enters the kitchen. His eyes light up when he sees me at the table. Oh, morning, Leo! Morning, Rofi. Rofi grins at me, then makes his way over to the fridge. What are we cooking today? Artemis joins him in front of the fridge, inspecting the available ingredients. I take that as my cue to excuse myself, not wanting to get in their way. I return to the living room and sit on the couch. Seems like Ollie is a late sleeper. I wonder if he's up yet. I get Ollie's number from our group chat and send him a text. Hey, you up? After a few minutes, I get a response. Barely. Why? Ooh. Want to hang for a bit? If you aren't too sleepy. His response comes instantly. Oh yeah, come upstairs. Ollie answers the door on the second knock, still rubbing sleep from his eyes. Morning. Morning, Ollie. I hope it didn't wake you. Nah. He lets out a huge toothy yawn. You do, come on in. The room looks pretty much the same as yesterday, with the notable exception of the finished desktop setup, pulsing with an assortment of colors. Looks like you got everything set up. Looking good. Yeah. He yawns again, nodding. Let me boot it up for you. Ollie's desktop background at least, the parts of it visible beneath the clutter of files and folders, looks like some sort of painting. A lone knight kneeling at the foot of the grave, bearing a gilded shield inlaid with 7 glittering gemstones. My view is quickly obstructed as the dino begins pulling up windows, filing each monitor in a matter of moments. Wait, sorry, but can I get a better look at your desktop background? Oh, of course! Ollie's gentle blue eyes light up in excitement. He fills with the center monitor and pulls it up unobstructed. It's a CG! Oh my god! He looks so cute. Wait, I could probably draw him. I'm looking at the angles and the shapes. I can draw both of them actually. Probably might take me a minute, but I can draw them. I'm just getting pre-planning something for art in the future. Which, do you recognize it? No, it just looked interesting. Oh, that's okay. His excitement barely wavers, seeming as if he's just as happy to explain it. It's from an RPG called Tales of Wheel and Woe, one of my all-time favorites. This is really a pivotal scene that happens towards the end, once you've gathered all 7 crystals. I won't spoil what happens, but it's a pretty famous twist. The game is known for its fantastic storytelling, which is why it's one of my favorites. I'm a sucker for storytelling RPGs, anything I could really lose myself in. Huh, I've actually never heard of it. What's the plot about? Vaguely, I mean. I'm not sure how much I could describe it without spoiling anything. Its presentation is really masterful, so just hearing about it won't do it justice. The basic setup is simple though. You play a hero sent on a quest to collect 7 magic crystals in order to restore sunlight to a cursed kingdom. It's what they do with such a well-trod premise that makes it a masterpiece though. It made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me think seriously about life, while also helping me take life less seriously. It has one of the most complicated and rewarding skill trees I've ever seen. To be honest, I played just for that. Wow, with such high praise, I'm surprised I haven't heard of it before. Ollie shrugs. It's fairly text-heavy and requires a lot of investment to really get into. Not everyone's cup of tea. The story, though? It's just so perfect. God, I really want to talk about it, but... Spoilers? Spoilers. What else can we talk about? Are there any games you've been into recently? Well, I'm actually into story-heavy games myself. Yeah, what kind of stories do you like best, Leo? This might be a weird answer, but I like sad stories with happy endings. Stories that make me feel a range of emotions. That challenge me to see both the light and dark side of things. That's not a weird answer at all. It's how I feel too. Oh, we're definitely gonna date him. I'm sorry, Rofi, but we're definitely dating Oliver. Actually. Okay. The dino's tail swishes lightly behind him, reminiscent of a wag. Stories that don't shrink away from the pain and sadness, but don't wallow in it either. Ollie starts to stutter a little, cheeks turning slightly red. I mean, I feel sad pretty often, so I guess it's nice to be reminded that other people feel the same way. Ollie looks directly into my eyes, his face deeply serious. But it's also nice to be reminded that there are alternatives to sorrow. That sadness isn't a foregone conclusion. That hope really does spring eternal. I guess that's kind of a cliche, but, you know. Sometimes things are cliche for a reason. Sometimes it's because they're beautiful and true. You know, I really think you would like Tales of Wheel and Woe. The name is very descriptive, plenty of sunshine, plenty of shadow. And once you played it, we just talked about it for real. Okay then, it's a promise. Ollie beams at me, trying and failing to rein in his excitement. Great! Oh, I'm so excited for you to start! There's several easy places where you can buy it, so... With an abrupt sound, the lights in the room go out, followed immediately after by Ollie's computer screens. In an instant, we are bathed in darkness, eyes locking in grim understanding. The power. Shit. I knew I should have brought that surge protector. We hear voices from downstairs. Clearly, everyone else has noticed it too. Both our phones buzz. It's Artemis. The power is out. Everyone please gather in the living room. You too, Ollie. The dino... Yep, definitely. I want to give him a smooch. The dino huffs in annoyance. There was no need to single me out. I would have come down. Come on, Leo, let's go. When we reach the base of the stairs, we find Artemis in the living room, stiffly pacing back and forth. There you are, Ollie. Come sit down here. The gas fire may have turned off, but it's still warm here. Artemis is fine. The power just went out. It's still warm everywhere. You know how quickly heat can leach out of a building. Please, just sit. He gestures to the couch, the anxiety now plain in his voice. For a moment, the two of them just look at each other. And then Ollie stiffly walks to the couch and sits, averting his eyes. Thank you. The bird turns to me. Have you seen Theo? No, not since this morning. He did say he was going to check on some houses after shoveling. The bird's scowl deepens, his forehead furrowed into a mess of feathery wrinkles. Great, just great. The front door creaks open and Rofi's head pops through. Hey, Artie! I grabbed Hunter just like you asked. What's going on? I was just getting into the shoveling groove. The two of them file into the house, stomping the snow off their boots. The power's gone out. Artemis says... How do you pronounce that? Brusquely? Or absorbed in his phone? Here, come sit. It'll be easier to discuss when we're all in one place. Well, what about Theo? He went to check in on the few neighbors, but he's still... Yes, I know. The bird cuts it off with a raised talon and slips his phone back into his pocket. I just sent him a text, hopefully. All of our heads turn to a nearby side table. Wordlessly, Artemis walks over to the table and picks up the phone sitting on its surface. Oh no, Theo left his phone? Unfucking believable. Is it? Yep, it's Theo's. Sure, yeah, just wander off into a snowstorm without your phone. Real smart. I'll go get him then. Artemis shakes his head in annoyance, his eyes darting around the room. No, you stay here. There's no point in splitting up. Hunter hesitates for a second, then continues lacing up his boots. But he can't be that far. It'll take me a few minutes, tops. And what if he's in someone's house, helping them with something? Artemis snaps at Hunter. You could walk right past him and not know. The raccoon recoils slightly at Artemis' tone, then frowns and fires back. So what? I'm just supposed to wait here? Who knows when he'll return? Yes, so we all wait here till then. What's not clicking? Better than all of us just wandering out into the snow with no idea where we're going. Well, Artie, it would only be one of us. Why is it so hard for you two to just sit still? Artemis' voice is hard and flinty now, something near panic reflected in his wide eyes. At that moment, Ollie stands up from the couch and strides purposefully across the living room. Ollie, where are you going? The dino stops at one of the lamps and flips the switch a few times. Nothing. Ollie, the power is out. What are you doing? Ollie doesn't answer. He just moves on to the next closest lamp. The corner of the room floods with light as the lamp turns on. Oh! Rofi is the first to break the silence, eyes wide in understanding. So it was just the circuit breaker. Artemis? Took you long enough to be here! Ollie's voice is gentle and calm, quivering only slightly. The breaker box is down in the basement, right? Can you show me where? The bird stands speechless for a long moment, then nods. He drops his gaze and starts to shuffle towards the basement door. We'll be right back. Ollie says to the room at large, then seems to reconsider. Though it might be best if everyone sees where it is in case this happens again. Sure, we'll come with. I motion to the other two and start following Ollie. Plush. Plush. I want the plush. Give me the plush. The plush is mine. It's mine. I own it now. It's mine. The basement is spacious, though dimly lit by a few small snow-covered windows. Aided by his phone flashlight, Ollie locates the breaker box and quickly finds the trip switch. There we go. That should do it. Hunter sighs in relief and claps him on the back. Wow, good thinking, Ollie. I don't know why, but I never thought it would be the circuit breaker. You guys don't check that first? You guys don't check the circuit breaker first before anything else? What the fuck? Listen. Ugh. Yeah, me neither. I guess it's because there's been so many power outages already. The dino blushes and scratches the back of his head. I mean, the wiring in my building sucks, and I tend to use a lot of plugs at once, so I'm used to having to reset the circuits a lot. Speaking of, I'll keep my desktop unplugged for now. I think that was probably what did it. Huh? You sure? I bet we can find some other stuff to unplug so you can still use it. No, that doesn't seem very fair. I still have my laptop, and it's my fault that everyone got so worked up anyway. No. Artemis speaks up for the first time, sheepish and halting. It was my fault. I got a little carried away. He looks at each of us in turn. Sorry, I was just worried about... His eyes flit to Ollie for an instant. About everyone. Oh, fuck, he really cares for him. He cares for Ollie. Is he in love with him? I don't know. I feel like Ollie might be in love with us. I was trying to keep everyone safe and calm, and I didn't do a good job of that. Hey, no worries, bud. What? Hunter reassures him softly. No hard feelings, okay? We were all a little stressed. Yeah, we're all friends here. Don't worry about it, Artie. The bird scratches his head and smiles slightly. Thinking about it, I guess Ruffy was right. It was starting to feel like we were all friends, even though some of us had only met yesterday. Let's head back upstairs, huh? Oh, wait. Let's head back upstairs, huh? I think we might just have left the stove on. Oh, right. Artemis turns and hustles back up the stairs, and we all follow, sharing smiles with each other. I hang back with Ollie as we re-enter the living room, and folks start to go their separate ways. Really good call, Ollie. You saved us all a bit headache. It was nothing, really. He glances over at the kitchen, where Artemis and Rofi are still figuring out lunch. Here, follow me up to my room again? I want to make sure everything's disconnected properly. Sure. As he goes to work unplugging the various computer wires, Ollie talks to me quietly from underneath the desk. This may seem a little strange to say, but please don't think badly of Artemis because of this. He just can be a little overprotective at times. Especially when it comes to me. Yeah, I could tell, to be honest. But I promise it doesn't come from a place of malice. He can be a little controlling, but only when he's worried about someone. Finishing his work, Ollie looks up at me with serious eyes. I know he cares about all of us here, not just me. He's really warmed up to the rest of you as well, far quicker than he normally does. And well, it's nice to see. Between the two of us, he may seem like the more outgoing one, but honestly, he has as much trouble making friends as I do. Something in Ollie's eyes catches my attention. A deep, tender warmth. I noticed it before too, when he told me the story about how they met. It makes me want to ask. Hey, I'm sorry if this is a little forward, but... Ollie blinks at me questioningly. Are you and Artemis a thing? Thing? Oh! No, you guys better not be a thing, because you and me are a thing. I'm sorry, he's a nerd. Ugh. Ollie turns redder than anyone I've ever seen. Far redder than Rofi. Impressive for such a green dino. Oh, you mean like... No. We are not a thing. Ollie mumbles, frantically twirling his paws, eyes shooting around the room. Hey, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have pried. I just, based on the way you two talk about each other, I guess I just wouldn't be surprised if everyone else was thinking the same thing. Really? Oh. Well, no. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't. I mean, Look, it's okay, I'll drop it. Like I said, I shouldn't have brought it up. I am sorry. No, we are not a thing. We are very good friends. In the same way that you and Rofi are. He smiles at me, seemingly glad to have found his voice. My stomach turns slightly, though I'm not entirely sure why. Or at least, I don't really want to think about why. Right, of course. Makes sense. A bit of awkwardness still hangs in the air as Ollie fills a bit more with the setup. Right as I start to check my phone, he speaks up. If you don't mind, I think I'd like to take a shower and freshen up. Oh, sure. Today's been a little more exciting than I bargained for. Ollie chuckles slightly, running his claws through his chest. Agreed, and I didn't sleep that well either. You too, huh? Well, if you ever find yourself awake in the middle of the night, shoot me a text. There's a decent chance I'll be awake then too. Deal. Enjoy your shower. Theo left towels and everything else we might need in the bathroom, so you should be all set. Thanks. I'll see you around, Leo. See you around, Ollie. I shut the door behind me and immediately start kicking myself for prying. Come on, Leo. Don't you remember what curiosity does to cats? Ollie was so embarrassed. Wait a minute, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is this? Who? Whom's that? Who's that? Anyway, Ollie was so embarrassed. As I start to make my way downstairs, I remember his request. Please don't think badly of Artemis. Maybe I should go check on him. Out of all of us, he seemed the most stressed by the day's events. Then my stomach growls in protest, reminding me that it's past lunchtime already. I could definitely use a bite. I bet I'll find Rofi in the kitchen. And where there's food, I'll probably find Hunter too. What should I do first? Okay. I am going to save this. And probably make another file. I'll save this, and I'm going to end it off here. Now, let's see. Wait. Now let's go back to the main menu. Okay! I've been playing for about an hour, probably like an hour and 30 minutes, like a movie's length of time. It seems to be pretty standard. But yeah, this was mainly an Oliver-centric VOD, which is nice. I didn't expect to hang out with him so much, but honestly, I love him. I love him. He's the best He's best character. I'm sorry. Listen, he has a 3-monitor system. His keyboard and his desktop PC is RGB colored. He's a nerd. He plays gacha. He loves RPGs and shit. He is Pete Hotness. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you're watching from the VOD, feel free to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/XenoCowboy. The link will be in the description. Thank you everyone for go ahead and follow me on Twitter and all that shit. And if you since you're watching live, tune in tomorrow for me to play more of Arches and everything. And this VOD will be up pretty soon. And also Halloween, the art stream. This VOD will be up way past that, so I missed almost all the stream. Yep. Anyway, bye!